Hey, welcome to this Shortwave radio channel. And one of the things that I like to always try if I'm going to do random tuning is start at the bottom of the hour, like start at the top of the hour, sorry, at like at 0 UT or 01 UT or 0, and also sometimes at the bottom of the hour, like a 0:30, 01:30, because sometimes there are certain broadcasts, even in utilities, that start at a specific time, and it's easy to miss if you were not there when it happened. And of course, an SDR is great for that because it lets you see what you're missing out. And we'll have a few examples of using an SDR in our series tonight that I'm doing because it's very useful, especially for utilities. And so it's going to be 0 hours UTC. I already know there's a few things that of interest. Like I could already probably have one. So the interval signal's not there yet, but 11620 is Radio Romania International. It's a standard listen for me in English at 0 UTC. What I will also do is switch to WRMI at 0:30 on 15770 to get the broadcast that is from Radio Slovakia in English. So, there's a few things that I know that 0 UTC is good for and that I could be tuning around. So that's one thing. So the signal, usually is good on both stations when propagation is good, because sometimes propagation is not on your side. But most of the time, it's good. Now, I have actually put up on the screen a few things that I might be using if I'm searching for something else. So, one of the first things, and it's not very strong, but on my ICOM right now I do have a pirate station. And where do I get the info for that? Well, what I just did is bring up the HF Underground website. And that HF Underground website is actually giving me the possibility of seeing what's on. So if I actually make things bigger for you guys, you see Radio Free Euphoria 6950 AM. Here's what I was saying. You must hear it right now in the background. The Radio Romania. This is the interval signal before it starts at 0 UTC. So I am hearing a weak signal, not very strong, of Radio Euphoria. So this is one thing that I've been looking. I was looking at the Preom website for what stations, so V13 15388. Let me check that out in upper sideband. 15388 is one. $15.89. Just out of curiosity, see if I'm getting anything out of these number stations. So these is something that I will try also and check out. Of course, Preom being a great website if you are searching for number stations. So I will often have that on. I will have that. Of course, I always keep the EIBI space open, because apart from international broadcasts, one of the things of EIBI space is also utilities. So there could be utilities in there that are to check out. So I will often go through what's out at 0 UT. You have all the 24-hour info of the different maritime stations, aeronautical frequencies, and so on. So everything's in there to try out. So they even have the schedules like CHU Ottawa time signal on 7850. Let's try 7850, for example, which is the one that has the highest chance right now of being heard. So it's noisy, but it's there. CHU time signal. So I will go through that, see what other utilities are broadcasting. You'll have the Canadian stations like Les Escoumins Quebec, VCF, VHA, Prince Rupert, and the West Coast. I've never heard that here. It'd be kind of a cool DX to hear the British Columbia, marine stations out here east. I guess, once I have too much noise, and probably 4125 would be the only one that I maybe could get. But at least I got this several on the East Coast from Halifax and so on. So, it's something to check out. And there's all of these frequencies that you can punch in, listen, even if you hear nothing. Well, at some point you'll hear something. There's a lot of those going on. So it depends on what you want to tune around. There's a lot of stuff in the first part of the 0 to 2400 hours because there's a lot of things in the utilities. That is pretty much 24 hours. It's just you need to know when to tune something. But in the first part, so there's Radio Romania that I was tuning a little earlier. And you can check out other different transmissions that are out there that you can see if you can hear once again. But in this case, it's international broadcasting is not what I really want to listen to. So I'll check out what's on with Priam. I'll check out the pirate stations. I might also check out, for example, in the HF Underground list. If you look at the possibilities of what's out there, you have also, there's HF beacons of all sorts. There's the utility stations. There's long wave stuff. So, for example, I will sometimes maybe go to utilities here and see what's on utilities that I could listen to, and you'll see people listening different things. Channel Volmet 13264 kilohertz upper sideband. So I could try that. Go to 13264, see if it's coming in at this time right now, and here it is.
Net report. Unit at 2350 Zulu. Automated activation. Wind calm. Cabin closed. Temperature.
You will also learn and see things by looking at these schedules. Like, for example, I had no idea the SVO Radio Olympia, which is in Greece, on 13134 is an upper sideband. Somebody heard it at 1959 UT on May 7th. Makes me want to try these frequencies, honestly, because these are things that I have no idea. I didn't know they were there. And so it gives you an idea of what to tune. TAH marine weather on from Turkey 13128. That's kind of interesting. It makes me want to tune around the frequency range. So now that I know that around 13 megahertz there's stuff, well, what I will what it's going to make me want to do is, of course, take the radio and tune from, say, 13 megahertz. I'm going to go down to 13 megahertz here and tune up to like 13400, 500. See if there's other things than just Shannon Volmet, for example. So let's see. So that's Stanag on 13032. So quiet, but doesn't mean there's nothing. Once again, when you tune around and you hear nothing, you tune around again and again and again, once again. And SDR is great because you could actually put the SDR on 13250 and look at what's on 13,000 to 13,500 and the waterfall. Leave it there. Utility stations, a lot of them tend to be temporary. and they pop up at random. So you'll hear or maybe detect something at random. So that's important to understand, that you have to be patient and know that it's not always there, especially for utilities and stuff. So these are some of the websites that I will use and try to check out what could be coming up. For example, here, if we look at the Prion website, it tells me that in 23 minutes there's going to be a F06 station, and on 14373. Now you might wonder what's F06. Well, if you look at the schedule, 23 minutes is at 0:30. Notice here that at the bottom, that listing, which is all the broadcasts that are coming up. So when you tune around and wonder what's out there, what you can check out is, so I'm just going to refresh for a second because I think it has the wrong schedule down as we changed. So okay, let's check it out again. So if I look, so there's 14373. If you want to know what F06 in red, you can click on it. It's going to show you the page that talks about what it is and where it comes from, the different locations it might be transmitting from, and what it looks like, and a sample audio. That is what it sounds like. So this gives you an idea that if you hear something that resembles that signal, it's probably that. And don't forget that if you don't hear it on your radio on Prion, you can click the actual listing and it brings you to the nearest SDR, if it's either the U20 like here, or it could be a Kiwi SDR around the world, and it already is tuned to the frequency that we're waiting for, which is 13373, which I probably changed because I clicked on the display, but it will be there and you'll be able to check out what you're listening to. And is it online if you don't hear it at home? That's also the challenge. So there's a lot of things you can do and use the different listings. It could be using the listings of EIBI space, but rather that using them in by time, I will use it by frequency listing. That means we were thinking about, for example, a few minutes ago, what's from 13,000 to 13,500. Well, because there's a pretty extensive utility listing in EIBI space, you can go down and go to 13,000. When you're there, you can actually go and say, okay, so from 13,000, here's what I get. So there's, of course, some stations like Sound of Hope that are out of band and Sierra One jammers, but 13074, the Kagoshima fishing fax transmission, that's coming up at 0110 on Mondays, and so on. And you can look at, okay, VFF Iqaluit. So if I want to try Iqaluit, I might want to tune 13077, leave my radio there, and wait and hope that maybe I'll hear some transmission there. So things like that. Of course, there's the different schedules of the U.S. Coast Guard: Guam, Hawaii, Honolulu, Point Reyes, California, Chesapeake, Virginia, and so on. And so it's kind of cool to look around, try to see if there's anything that you can tune at your own location, and you'll be rewarded with all sorts of things that you might be hearing. Some of them, of course, like I said, they're utilities. They are simply something that pops up at random. Once again, an SDR is amazing for that because you'll see it appear on the display on the waterfall, and that makes you see what's around just the main frequency that you're tuning. So hope that is helpful, and that a little more tips on how I'm tuning and what I'm doing to help you guys out. See if it's helpful in any way to make sure that you can tune around the bands. We'll have a video next. The next one will be a different way of tuning This one I'm using websites, looking at frequencies, trying to find transmissions that are out of the ordinary, but through the different listings that I see. Next one will be kind of the reverse. We tune around and we try to find out what it's actually transmitting, what is there. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Don't forget you can give a little tip to a video if you enjoyed it, if it helped you out. And thanks for watching.